Tushdele to everyone, and welcome to our lesson 9 of the intermediate reading, part 1, Sakya Legshe. So today we're going to read the verse number 10 of the Sakya Legshe, and today is the last class for the intermediate reading, part 1, and definitely we'll have more intermediate reading classes after that too. It may or may not be the same text, but we'll have intermediate reading. We'll see. Maybe we'll continue, or maybe instead of this, we'll probably have, instead of verse, we'll have articles or paragraphs to read in the next class of the intermediate part 2. But the information and everything related to that will be posted later. So you can check that. So today is the last class, and after this we're going to have a break for 21 days. So it will be 3 weeks of break, and after that we are going to continue. Those who are joining me for the grammar class, we're going to continue the grammar class, and then we're also going to start the intermediate conversation class. So we will post the information regarding that also, so you can also check that there. So I hope that everyone can hear me clearly. So so all the updates will be in the groups, so you can check there. So I think many of you are already joined in the event group, so everything regarded to those will be posted there. And yes, so Tushdele to everyone, and welcome to intermediate reading lesson 9, chapter 1, Sakya Legshe, chapter 1, examining the voice, lesson 9, verse 10. So before we begin reading the verse, so the mannerism will be the same. I will repeat each syllable 4 times, each word 4 times, each line 4 times, each verse 4 times, and then we'll have someone reading after me. So and after which I'll provide the feedback. So let me begin today's lesson with the verse today. So so this verse is a verse. So unlike like we do usually, that is providing a verse of dedication, what we have done here is I've provided a single verse. So these are verses which are inspired by Sakya Legshe. So the manner or the way these are written might be quite similar to that of the Sakya Legshe. Okay, so let me begin reading this verse. Tuna chushin gyupala dotab jizam chenaya gyube chula chilo me chimbe tula dogyu me. Tuna chushin gyupala dotab jizam chenaya gyube chula chilo me chimbe tula dogyu me. Tuna chushin gyupala dotab jizam chenaya gyube chula chilo me chimbe tula dogyu me. So what does this verse mean? So the translation is already provided here. It says, so the understanding of my dear friend comes from this word itself. It's lak. So with the usage of this word, it means that we are referring to someone. Not only we are referring to someone, we are referring to someone in a respectful and more gentle manner. So my dear friend. So the translation is thus: my dear friend, the time flows like the river. No matter how much one tries to make it flow in reverse, as there is no reversal to the flow of river, so there is no rewinding of the time that passed. So this is the English translation. It means, so it's a verse that is directed towards everyone. So my dear friend, refer to each and everyone who listens to this. So it states, my dear friend. So in general, it means every person in the world. So my dear friend. So it states, Tuna, the time flows like river, meaning that it continuously flows without break. It flows and flows and flows. No matter how much one tries to make it flow in reverse, no matter how much one wishes it to go back to a certain point, that is not possible. The river that has already, the river that is flowing. So the river that is flowing, there is no means or methods to make it flow in the reverse direction. So given an example, as there is no reversal to the flow of river, similarly, so there is no rewinding of the time that has passed. So there is no you cannot rewind the time that has already passed, that has already gone. So this is the verse for today. So with this verse, and taking this verse as a sign of auspiciousness, let us begin today's lesson. Lesson 9, verse 10, Sakya Legshe, chapter 1, examining the wise. Lasso, I hope everyone is able to hear my voice clearly. Make sure that the voice is quite clear to you because we're going to focus on the pronunciation. Lasso. Ke. 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 Pa. 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 Kepa. 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 Yun. 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 Ten. 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 Yun ten. Yun ten. Yun ten. Yun ten. Pak. 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 Me. 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 Pak me. Pak me. Pak me. Pak me. Kyang. 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 Pak me. 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 Kyang. Kepa yun ten. 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 Pak me. Kyang. So let me do a character reading of this. Ka. Kayata kya. Kayata kyang a kyang. Ka. Kayata kya. Kayata kyang a kyang. Ka. Kayata kya. Kayata kyang a kyang. Kepa yun ten. Pak me. 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 Kyang. Shen. 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 Ki. 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 Shenki. shanky, shanky, shanky. So please observe that when I'm pronouncing this word as a syllable, I'm putting a great emphasis over the last letter and thus pronouncing it with a emphasis to pronounce it as shen. But when I transition to the word reading, what I do is that I instead of putting a great emphasis on the last word, because this last word is the point where it transitioned to the next syllable. So therefore, instead of putting a lot of emphasis, because it might create an unnecessary pause between the transition. So what I do is I, instead of putting emphasis on this last letter, I make it much smoother in order to make the transition from one syllable to the next much easier. So instead of shenki, where you can see that the sound are almost as if it is being cut in between. There is this sort of unnecessary pause in between, and this is because we're emphasizing a lot on the final letter, so that the transition becomes much more difficult. Shenki, as you can hear. Instead, we make the last letter much smoother. It becomes shenki, shenki. So you see that the transition is much more smoother here. Shenki, 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 shenki. When you emphasize on the sound, it goes shen, in which you can observe that your tongue is coming in between your teeth, in between the front top and the front bottom of your teeth. And you can see that the sound is coming from the tongue being pressed against the top and the bottom teeth in the front. Shen, shen. But now when you transition, it goes shen, in which you see that your tongue, instead of going in between the teeth, what it does is that it dives down. So shen, shen, and it never touches the teeth. So there is a more open sound here, shen, instead of a closed sound, shen. So shen, shen, shenki is a more open sound, like a vowel sound, rather than shen, where you see that the sound is more closed. So shen. So when you do the transition, make sure that the sound are more open so that you can do the particular transition from one syllable to other. Shenki, yun, 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 te, te. Or when you're doing the syllable reading, ten, 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 ten. What is the purpose of doing the emphasis on the syllable reading is to actually help you pronounce this much clearly. Even though during the transition, you may see that the first syllable, the last letter of the first syllable, is made smoother, but still it retains the core sound of na. And for one to be able to retain that sound as clear as possible, one must work on the pronunciation, on the character, and the syllable level. So, yun, ten, yun, ten, 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 yun, ten, yun, ten, yun, ten, yun, ten, shenki, yun, ten, chung, 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 cha, cha shapyu chu, cha, cha shapyu chu, cha shapyu chung a chung, cha, cha shapyu chu, chashapku chung 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 ngu hang ngu hang. So here we usually it is in two syllable, but here because of this particle, this entire thing becomes a single syllable. And these type of syllable are actually quite difficult to read. These are more challenging one. So chungwo, nguang, nguang, nguang. Usually it would be ngu hang if it was in two syllable. But now what has happened is that because of the nature of the particle, this uh this particle, which is the ornamental inclusive particle, the nature of this particle make it in a way that we're unable to make it into two syllable, but it becomes so the two different words, the particle and the word, the verb joins into one syllable. So sometimes these type of syllable are very difficult to read. So nguang, nguang. Normally it would be ngu hang, but now because of the this being a single syllable, nguang, 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 nguang. And the thing is that if it was two syllable, you could have emphasized on the sound of the aspirated word ha, nguhang, nguhang. But because this is a single syllable, and for the sake of transitioning into this into the sound, nguhang, nguang, nguang, chunguang, 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 len, 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 len. Now, because this is the last word of this line, last syllable of this line, and there's no syllable that comes after this, so we can put an emphasis on na. So, chungwa len, chungwa len. If it was a part, if it was a part of a syllable that was coming in between here, then it would be le. But because this is the last syllable, we can put emphasis on the last letter. So, len, chungwa len, chungwa len, chungwa len, chungwa len. Shen ki yun den chungwa len, shen ki yun den chungwa len, shen ki yun den chungwa len, shen ki yun den chungwa len. Te, 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 te. Tar, 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 tar. La, la ta ta ta, la ta 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 ra tar. La, la ta ta ta, la ta 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 ra tar. La, la ta ta ta, la ta 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 ra tar. Tetar, 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 tetar. Gün, 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 gün. Ra, ra khata ga, ra khata ga yata gya. Ra khata ga yata gya shab gyu gyu. Ra khata ga yata gya shab gyu gün na gün. Ra, ra khata ga. Ra khata ga yata gya. Ra khata ga yata gya shab gyu gyu. Ra khata ga yata gya shab gyu gün na gün. Ra, ra khata ga. Ra khata ga yata gya. Ra khata ga yata gya shab gyu gyu. Ra khata ga yata gya shab gyu gün na gün. Gün, 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 gün. Tu, 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 tu. Gün tu, gün tu, gün tu, gün tu, gün tu. Jie, jie, je, je, sa, sapatapa, sapatapayata cha, sapatapayata cha 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 je, 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 pa, 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 jepa, 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 yi, 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 jepa yi, jepa yi, jepa yi, jepa yi, jepa yi, tetar güntu 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 jepa yi, nyur, 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 ma, mayatanya, ma, mayatanya, ma, mayatanya, ma, mayatanya, mayatanya şöpkünyu, mayatanya şöpkünyurra nyur, 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 tu, 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 nyurtu, 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 tam, 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 je, 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 tam je, tam je, tam je, tam je, ken, 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 ma, mo, ka, mo, kayata kya, mo, kayata kyatang bo ke, mo, kayata kyatang bo ken na ken, ma, mo, ka, mo, kayata kya, mo, kayata kyatang bo ke, mo, kayata kyatang bo ken na ken, ma, mo, ka, mo, kayata kya, mo, kayata kyatang bo ke, mo, kayata kyatang bo ken na ken, ma, mo, ka, mo, kayata kya, mo, kayata kyatang bo ke, mo, kayata kyatang bo ken na ken, 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 par, 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 kempar, 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 draw, 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 ha, ho, garata da, ho, garata danaru draw, ha, ho, ga, ho, ka, ho, garata da, ho, garata danaru draw, draw, Ho karata dana ruto. Ho karata dana ruto. Ho karata dana ruto. Ha. Ho ka. Ho ho ka ga. Ho ka karata da. Ho karata dana ruto. Ho ka ga. Ho karata da. Ho karata dana ruto. Dro. 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 Kemper dro. Kemper dro. Kemper dro. Kemper dro. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Keba yunde pa me kyang. Shenki yunde chungwa ne. Tetar gundu cheba yi. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Keba yunde pa me kyang. Shenki yunde chungwa ne. Tetar gundu cheba yi. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Keba yunde pa me kyang. Shenki yunde chungwa ne. Tetar gundu cheba yi. Nyurtu tamchi kemper dro. Okay, so now that I have read it 4 times, before we go to the translation and the term table, so did we have someone who who had volunteered to read today? Did we have someone who was going to read today? Was there someone who volunteered to read today? Lasso. So Amanda, so you'll be reading after me today.
Lasso.
Lasso. So it is like the usual. First, we'll do the syllable, then the word, then the line, then the verse. When we do the verse, if it is something that needs a very big change while pronunciation, I'll do it in between. But if it's something that is just a subtle difference, then I will do it after we read the verse. Lasso. So I will begin. Ke,
Ke.
ke,
Ke.
ke,
Ke.
ke,
Ke.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
ke,
Ke.
ke,
Ke.
ke,
Ke.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
ke pa,
Ke pa.
ke pa,
Ke pa.
ke pa,
Ke pa.
ke pa,
Ke pa.
yun,
Yun.
yun,
Yun.
yun,
Yun.
yun,
Yun.
ten,
Ten.
ten,
Ten.
ten, ten,
Yun. Ten.
ten. Oh, are you able to hear me?
Lost again now.
So, ten,
Ten.
yun ten,
Yun. Ten.
ten,
Yun. Ten.
ten,
Yun. Ten.
ten,
Yun. Ten.
fuck,
Pak.
fuck,
Pak.
fuck,
Pak.
fuck,
Pak.
me,
Mẹ. Mẹ. Mẹ.
me,
Mẹ.
yang,
Kiang.
yang,
Kiang.
yang,
Kiang.
yang,
Kiang. Kepa yun ten. Pak mẹ kiang.
ke pa yun ten, pa me kyang,
Kepa yun ten. Pak mẹ kiang.
ke pa yun ten, pa me kyang,
Kepa yun ten. Pak mẹ kiang. Pak.
ke pa yun ten, pa me kyang,
Kepa yun ten. Pak mẹ kiang.
shen,
Shen.
shen,
Shen.
shen,
Shen.
shen,
Shen.
ki,
Gi.
ki,
Ki.
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 Shenki.
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 Yun.
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 Ten.
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 Eh.
Yun ten.
Eh.
Yun ten.
Eh.
Yun ten.
Eh.
Yun ten.
Chung.
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 Wang.
Nuông.
Wang.
Nuông.
Wang.
Nuông.
Wang.
Nuông.
Wang.
Chung nuông.
Chung.
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 Chung nuông.
Len.
Lên.
Len.
Lên.
Len.
Lên.
Len.
Lên.
Shenki yun de chung len.
Shenki yun ten chung nuông. Lên.
Shenki yun de chung len.
Shenki yun ten chung nuông. Lên.
Shenki yun de chung len.
Shenki yun ten chung nuông. Lên.
Shenki yun de chung len.
Shenki yun ten chung nuông. Lên.
Shenki yun de chung len.
Shenki yun ten chung nuông. Lên.
Te.
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 Te. Te.
Tar.
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 Etar.
Tetar.
Etar.
Tetar.
Tar.
Tetar.
Etar.
Tetar.
Gün.
Gun.
Gün.
Gun.
Gün.
Gun.
Gün.
Gun.
Gün.
Gun.
So let us do the character reading of this. Ra.
Ra.
Rakata ga.
Ragataka.
Rakata gayata gya.
Ragataka yatakya.
Rakata gayata gya shakyu.
Ragataka yatakya sabjukyu.
Rakata gayata gya shakyu na gün.
Ragataka yatakya sabjukyu na gun.
Rakata gayata gya shakyu na gün.
Ragataka yatakya sabjukyu na gun.
Rakata gayata gya shakyu na gün.
Ragataka yatakya sabjukyu na gun.
Gün.
Gun.
Gün.
Gun.
Bu.
Do.
Bu.
Do.
Bu.
Do.
Bu.
Do.
Güntu.
Guntu.
Güntu.
Guntu.
Güntu.
Guntu.
Güntu.
Guntu.
제.
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 빠.
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 예빠.
제빠.
예빠.
제빠.
예빠.
제빠.
예빠.
제빠.
이.
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 대달 근도 제빠.
대달 guntu 제빠 이.
대달 근도 제빠 이.
대달 guntu 제빠 이.
대달 근도 제빠 이.
대달 guntu 제빠 이.
대달 근도 제빠 이.
대달 guntu 제빠 이.
열.
늘.
열.
늘. 늘.
열.
늘.
Okay, so we'll do a character reading of this. Ma.
마.
마야따냐.
마야따냐.
마야따냐 샵균유.
마야따냐 sabjunya.
Maya tanya sabtu nyur ranyur.
Maya tanya sabtu nyur ranyur.
Ma.
Ma.
Maya tanya.
Maya tanya.
Maya tanya sabtu nyu.
Maya tanya sabtu nyu.
Maya tanya sabtu nyur ranyur.
Maya tanya sabtu nyur ranyur.
Nyur.
Nyur.
Thu.
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 Yurtu.
Neuter.
Yurtu.
Neuter.
Yurtu.
Neuter.
Yurtu.
Neuter.
Ham.
Come.
Ham.
Come.
Ham.
Come.
Ham.
Come.
Che.
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 Ham che.
Tham che.
Ham che.
Tham che.
Ham che.
Tham che.
Che.
Tham che.
Ham che.
Tham che.
Ken.
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 Par.
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 Draw.
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 Nyurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Kepa yunde pang me kyang.
Kempa yun tiên. Pa me kyang.
Shenki yunde chungwa le.
Shenki yun tiên chung wa lu.
Ketar guntu che pa yi.
Heta kun tu che pa yi.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Kepa yunde pang me kyang.
Kempa yun tiên. Pa me kyang.
Shenki yunde chungwa le.
Shenki yun tiên chung nong nong len.
Chungwa.
Chung nong.
Chungwa.
Chung nong.
Shenki yunde chungwa le.
Shenki yun tiên chung nong len.
Ketar guntu che pa yi.
Heta kun tu che pa yi.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Kepa yunde pang me kyang.
Kempa yun tiên. Pa me kyang.
Shenki yunde chungwa le.
Shenki yun tiên chung nong len.
Ketar guntu che pa yi.
Heta kun tu che pa yi.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Kepa yunde pang me kyang.
Kempa yun tiên. Pa me kyang.
Shenki yunde chungwa le.
Shenki yun tiên chung nong len.
Ketar guntu che pa yi.
Heta kun tu che pa yi.
Yurtu tham che kempar. Draw.
Neuter. Tham che. Kempa. Draw.
Hola so.
Tu che che.
For the first three trial, you were pronouncing this as pa, but at the last you pronounced it correctly. It is pak. So the last pronunciation was correct. Similarly to this one. So in the first two trial, you were having little difficulty with this, but at the last one, you pronounced this correctly, chungwang. But it still means that you have to work a little bit on this. So this becomes quite normal. But this is actually, like I said, a very difficult syllable. When we have this particular, we have few particles with this particular letter. And whenever this particular letter comes in a syllable, what it does is that it brings new elements, like it brings two or three, two vowels in one syllable. So it becomes very difficult sometimes. So this is more difficult one, but the last one was very good pronunciation. So please practice this a little bit. The rest, you have pronounced it quite well. This one needs a little bit work. It's in nyur, so you have to make the sound a little bit more stronger, nya, instead of it has to be nyur, nyur.
Okay.
So, so this one a little work, this one a little work, and then a little work over here to make sure that it comes out consistently. Other than that, all the rest have been pronounced most wonderfully. So,
Yes.
so okay, so now we go to the English translation. So we have the English translation from the book that we are referring to. So this is translated by John T. Davenport. So the 10th verse. Let me read this once. Kepa yunde pang me kyang shenki yunde chungwaan ne. Tetar gundu chepa yi nyurtu tamchi kempar dro. So what does this mean? It means although the wise have immeasurable learning, that is, although the wise man has been learning his whole life and gathered an immeasurable, countless immeasurable amount of learnings and knowledge, they still embrace the lesser knowledge of others. Yet they won't look down to any other people because they would still cherish the good quality that they have, meaning that they will cherish the good quality within the others, even though it may be as small as it could be. The good quality could be a very small good quality, something that could be considered to be very normal to have. But still, if it's a good quality, the wise man will cherish it and embrace it and will admire the other person to have such wonderful quality within them by means of continuously practicing thus. So, practicing thus continuously, it's not like you do it today and you don't do it tomorrow. You feel like doing it today, you do it today. Tomorrow, you don't feel like doing it, you just leave it. Not like this. To make it like as it is to breathe, to be consistent, to make it like you are breathing effortlessly, continuously. They quickly proceed to omniscience if they practice this and then see good qualities within everyone. Because the thing is that to become the omniscient one, meaning to attain enlightenment, we know that there is the method and there is the wisdom. So the method is of the bodhicitta, and for the bodhicitta, we know that there are two methods. The seven step. There are the 7 steps into manifesting bodhicitta, and then there is the exchange, the equivalent exchange of self and others. So in the 7 steps, one of the step is to view all the sentient beings to be dearly and lovely, and for that one must see the the good quality within everyone. But remember, this is a step to become a bodhisattva. So therefore, it should be understood that it is in that level that we're talking, that where everyone, the bodhisattva will view everyone. They know that some people have bad qualities, but it is their practice to view the good qualities within others and cherish them without any biases on the basis of those good qualities. So therefore, to arise the bodhicitta, one must practice to see everyone without any biases. And so if they do this, soon they will they will become omniscient or proceed to omniscience, become a Buddha. So this is the meaning of this verse. So this is my take on the translation. Although the wise possesses immeasurable good qualities, they learn even the little good quality that other they encounter possess. So in my take, instead of saying that the wise embraces the good quality within others, what I have done is that I have written it in a way that it doesn't matter that the wise man has learned so much so that it becomes immeasurable. If they see a good quality within others, they will consider this to be the most precious, most valuable gem that they have encountered, that they have seen. And then they will cherish it accordingly and try to gain that knowledge within themselves. If it is something that they already have, they will try to take it in a way that the other person is experiencing that good quality. Meaning that they will try to experience attaining that good quality in a different perspective. They will see each and every one who possess, even though those good qualities are one which are already within the wise man, they will look at that person and admire them very much. And in a way, also think that they have a better practice, better understanding of that particular good qualities. And so they will cherish that good quality, and they will also cherish the person who has that good quality, and try to take up that particular good quality from them. Meaning that they will never look down on anyone, because they believe that everyone have particular good quality which they can always learn from. Even though it may be the same type of good quality, they believe that that other person have a different perspective on that good quality, or they have a different reasoning why they have adopted to that good quality. And therefore it comes to the experience of the other person that they value. So they learn even the little good quality that others that they encounter possess. Indulging thus in this manner of conduct every day, meaning that each day without consistently, each day, each and every day, by doing this, thus indulging in this type of manner of conduct, by doing such, soon proceed to omniscience. They will soon proceed to omniscience, meaning they will attain the state of all-knowing. So this is my take on the the translation of the verse. So now we go to the table. So you'll observe that now we have only 3 terms. That is because many of the terms were already there in the previous lessons. So we have only 3 new terms here. Pagme, Yunduche, Nyur. These are the 3 new words that we have. Pagme means immeasurable. Kepa Yunde Pagme Kya, Dudan Shenta, Sungbarta, Sungbarta. Lumpo Sheja Chung Shekya, Tamje Kenle Hakonyam. So let me read this again. Kepa Yunde Pagme Kya, Dukdang. Duk is an old Tibetan, which means the way they carry themselves, the way they live. So in the more modern term, we use the term deba. So Kepa Yunde Pagme Kya, Dukdang Shentang Sungbarta. Lumpo Sheja Chung Shekyang, Tamche Kenle Hakonyam. Even though a wise possesses immeasurable good qualities, yet live humbly like everyone. When a fool learns a little knowledge, they think that they are greater than the omniscient one. So this means that when a wise man who have immeasurable knowledge and immeasurable good qualities, even though they have this many good qualities, they live humbly like everyone. They consider themselves to be same and equal to every living being. But when a fool learns a little knowledge, when a fool has a little knowledge, they will think to themselves that they are greater than the Buddha themselves because of the knowledge that they possess. So this is an example statement. The second one, to practice every day. Legshe kebe tamnga nam, ranggu yuntu jeba na, yunri mato nyurtu ni, rangi keba legshe kyur. So let me read this again. Legshe kebe tamnga nam, ranggu yuntu jeba na, yunri mato nyurtu ni, rangi keba legshe kyur. If one practices every day the teachings of the teachings of the excellent speech of the wise, then without long one becomes a wise man capable of excellent speech. So this means that if a person works hard consistently every day, according to the instruction and the guidance of the wise man, then one day, as they do it, one day, not long, meaning that it doesn't take very long for them to one day become the same caliber of a person, meaning become a wise man who is capable of expounding the same or equal accent speech to someone else. Okay, so nyur, which means soon, which means soon. Sangye semje nidani tao tu katin sambana rangi sangye nyur tu topatang semje tamje nikyang wo. Sangye tamje nida, sangye semje nida ni tao tu katin sambana rangi sangye tu topa. rangi sangye nyur tu topatang semje tamje nikyang wo. So it means if one always feels, the gratitude towards the Buddha and the sentient beings, Buddha because they show the way, sentient beings because they make us they make the suffering very apparent. Sometimes we might not feel that the suffering is happening to us, but then we see someone suffer, someone's being sick, and we see that, oh, because that person is sick, this is the suffering because of the sickness. The sentient beings are equally grateful. The sentient beings are equally grateful as the Buddha is to us. Because Buddha shows us the way. Sentient beings remind us of the suffering. And because we are capable of, because the thing is that even if we want to generate the mind of bodhicitta and everything, wisdom, if there is no sentient being, it is not possible. So because of them, we are able to generate the sentient, the bodhicitta. Because of them, we are able to attain enlightenment. So both sentient being and the Buddha are equally gracious to us. So if one always feels the gratitude towards the Buddha and the sentient beings, then soon not only oneself will become a Buddha, but also the entire sentient being. So these are the three words and these are the three examples. Now, before I go to the verse, the final verse for today, if there is any question, please ask away. Any questions regarding today's lesson? If there is any questions, please ask away. Lasso.
Julia. I have a question. I have a question about poetry you put in group before the lesson.
Which one?
It was Jukpe Javale Gotsom Peishi.
Yes, that single line, right?
Single line, right. It gave me a crazy idea that I want to share, that I dare to share with you.
Okay.
It's a crazy idea about la sale syllable.
So
we know le as a connective, as a particle that connect to things. For example, na le kirangi jangwei reshak. So le is a grammatical particle, but we know the same word le as a word, as a separate word that used for translating Sanskrit karma, right? So we have two different layers. One is a particle and another is a word, right? Am I right?
Yes.
So my crazy idea is inspired by your poetry. Maybe these two is not so separate as we think. Because in some way, what is karma in Sanskrit is that is connect the spring and drain, the source and result.
Yes.
So it's like connecting.
Yes.
What do you think about this crazy idea? Thank you.
So, Lasso, so most wonderful. And when you take the meaning in the more poetic sense, I can accept this, because definitely when we take into the consideration that that lay could be taken in this way in a more poetic sense, definitely lay could be understood. Because now we're talking about the very nature of that particle, which connects two things, and you're taking that quality, and then you are what you're doing is that you're comparing this and to the word lay, which is karma. Karma meaning a connective action. So definitely you can say that both have a similar nature in that manner. And if you try to elaborate that nature in terms of poetry, I will say definitely I agree with you. And but if you say if you take it into a more technical aspect, like in grammar, I'll say, oh no, one is connective particle, other is word. But in the poetic sense, I agree with you. It's a very beautiful idea that both can have a similar nature in this way. And another thing, lay is also understood as an ablative particle, which means that it shows that something originating from something else. So that could also be understood in the context of action, because karma is the cause of all existence. So that could be also understood in this way. So yeah, when we go into more poetic sense, very beautifully understanding each nature of the word. But technically, we have to give some limitation and restriction. We have to say, technically, no, because one is particle. It is a bound morpheme, meaning that it cannot show a meaning by itself. Le, a name, a free morpheme, can show a meaning by itself. So therefore, I hope that even though we agree on the point, but we also see the distinction in terms of technicality. Lasso?
Okay, sorry. In case of your line, what lay you use?
Here we are using it as a particle, ablative particle.
Particle.
I
Okay.
already have the chawa, so there is no need to write two lay, is it?
Because first, as I get your poetry, I took it as a karma.
Yes, sir.
It has some sense.
Yes.
Am I right or not?
If
No.
you're aphorism, right? If you're checking these one line that I'm writing with that is written with the announcement, then I also recommend you to check few of the old ones. Some of them are actually quite crazy in their own manner, you know, where I have repeated the same word, but the same word meaning differently. So let me give you an example. So you can see that this actually may seem like it doesn't make any sense, but it actually makes sense. Lala lale le lale lale che, which means someone's work is done by someone else. But you see that it's same here. I mean, you can see that this is a very interesting statement.
Lala means someone or something, right? Lala.
Someone or some.
Someone. Okay.
So you see that in this statement, I've used it in a way. So lala, lale, le. This le is work. This le is la with the particle, the third grammatical particle. So lala, lale, le, lale, che. So someone's work is done by someone else. In poetry, which is quite beautiful and interesting. And sometimes makes things very confusing, which is even more wonderful when things are not that simple to understand.
Maybe it's okay when you read it from paper, but if you're trying to say it in speech, there is a risk to be beaten. by opening it.
Yes, I mean, definitely, definitely. If someone doesn't actually understand it very well, then they might think that someone is just trolling them, you know? They're just making fun of them. So in that case, definitely there are cases where people can get angry. But I mean, like I said, it's a crazy statement. It's a crazy statement. So one must always, and I always tell this to some of my students here. I say, words are very, very strange. Each word that we use should be taken full responsibility for. So therefore, with this statement, you have to take your responsibility. Otherwise, how can you make this statement? So definitely, there could be chance to get punched in the face, but you already determined to get that punch when you say the statement. Less so. So, any more questions? Do we have any more questions regarding today's lesson? Lasso. So, as you know, the audio of each of the lesson will be available, will be made available. Some of them are not available right now because there is delay from record them, and then it will be sent accordingly. And please listen to them and try memorizing it. These are very wonderful words. These are words that one may enjoy very much. Okay, so all is available. So these are words that one enjoy very much. So therefore, listen to them, memorize and revise. And if you have question regarding pronunciation, you can ask in the group or me directly. You don't need to think if I can send, oh, is it okay if I send question regarding pronunciation? No, you can send any question regarding the lesson. Or like I said, if it's something that you are studying and you have like regarding Tibetan, that is, and you have some doubt, you can send it here in the group and we will try to answer it to the best of our ability. When I say we, me, and all of the students who are in the group can help in understanding the statement. So therefore, make sure that if you want to have questions like this, send it in the group. You can send it like if it has to do with reading, pronunciation has to do with reading, so send it in the reading group. So you can send it in the reading group, and then we can answer that in that, or you can directly send it to me. That is also another thing. Sometimes I'll take a month to answer. But I will answer it eventually. The thing is, I will answer eventually. And I'm very sorry if some of the answers are taking 1 or 2 months to answer. So for that reason, I apologize to everyone who haven't got their answer till now. But I promise that you will get your answer eventually. So, lesser. So those who have questions regarding anything which is to do with reading, send it in the reading group. If it has to do with the grammar, send it in the grammar group. If it's a general question, send it in the one that is more relevant. Or you can, if you think that, oh, which group should I post this to, and you're feeling a certain type of confusion there, a dilemma, you can directly send it to me. That would be the most easiest way to send. And then I will check what type of the question it is. And then I'll ask you to post in whichever group that you can post the question into. Lasso. So now the final verse we have. I will be reading the final verse and the English of this. So Legshe Sirki Duzite Jizam Jepe Nubache Jepar Mepe Palam Yang Doshin Nito Nitang Keji Yu Legshe Sirki Duzite Jizam Jepe Nubache Jepar Mepe Palam Yang Doshin Nitang Keji Yu, which means the golden nectar of excellent speech becomes more potent the more it is used, meaning that when you listen to the excellent speech of the wise. You're capable of, and if you listen to it again and again, it becomes more and more potent, more and more. The potential of this becomes greater as you listen to it. So the thing is that sometimes when we listen to it once, we're incapable of understanding the usage, or we're incapable of understanding the profoundness. And this is not because the scholar is not profound, it's because we are incompetent at that moment. And then as we continue studying, we gain more knowledge, more understanding, and we become more competent. So therefore, this golden nectar of excellent speech becomes more potent the more it is used. Even the diamond that is not in use, what different it is to those other rocks. So if there is a diamond and it is not in use, we're not using it the way it is intended, then what difference this diamond has than any other rock? It is just a rock. So if you use it, if you utilize it, we see that it has its own value. So similarly, the speech of the scholar or the wise man, which is like the golden nectar. If one listens to it again and again, it becomes more potent. Okay, now with this verse, we are done with the lesson 9. We will have 21 days of break after this, and then the next class will be announced accordingly. So please check. So what are the next classes that will be held? It will be announced. So please check them, and then thank you for joining in for the now I think 9 lessons. So it is almost now with the so almost a month of month-long course on the Sakya Legshe, the intermediate reading, part 1. So thank you very much for joining in, and I hope that this entire course was beneficial to you, as it was very much beneficial to me. And I hope that you will revise, you will revisit, and you will recite the verse so that it will be memorized, and you can actually have few of the very wonderful words that you can use in your day-to-day life. So if you have these in your inventory of words, when it comes to a certain situation, you can use them directly in a particular situation, and it sounds nice. So Lasso, so thank you for joining in, and Tashitale to everyone. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful day wherever they are. Thank you, Tashitale Lasso.